Never fall in love with someone's potential. Fall in love with who they are today. You know him. You love him. Even if it's in a 60s kind of way. He's the original god of love.
Shall we swing a little bit?
Ready to spread some mojo. Marshall Silver.
So I meet this woman on Match.com. This is years ago. I'm talking probably 8 years ago. And I strike up a romance with her. Goes on for months online. Send her a ticket to come visit me right before Christmas. And then, we're chatting. I'm thinking, my gosh, why don't you fly back for Christmas with your family to Tulsa, Oklahoma, just outside of Tulsa, and then come back for New Year's in Vegas? How cool will that be? A great way to start our whirlwind romance. So I send her the ticket. First class to go to San Diego. Then I send her the other ticket to come to Vegas. And I wait for her at the gate. She never shows up. I think I've been conned. I'm angry. I leave, find out she didn't even get on the plane. She won't answer her phone. I get back to my house, and there's an email from some other email address. It's her mother saying, Marshall, I was going through her stuff. We knew she was coming out to visit you. She's in the hospital with broken ribs. Now, when I first saw the email, I'm still thinking BS, because I'm thinking there's no way in the world a parent is going to let their 22-year-old daughter get on a plane and fly out to some stranger's house thousands of miles away without telling her parents who this person is. Here's the contact information. Here's his phone. Here's everything in case something happens to me. I don't care how long the long-distance romance had been going on. So I was still suspicious. I said, I don't think so. Certainly if she found my email address, she could have found my phone number. The girl could have given her mother my phone number. So didn't jive. A few minutes later, the phone rings, and it's the girl, Heather. So I answer, and I'm angry. I know I've been had. And she starts to talk, and I say something, and she laughs. Oh, please don't make me laugh. My ribs are sore. And I start thinking, oh, my gosh, maybe she is injured. Maybe I'm being a jerk. Maybe it's real. So I start talking to her, and I said, hey, you know what? What if I flew out and saw you? I can fly out to see you. She says, oh, you do that for me? Yeah. So I make arrangements. I get on the next flight out. Talk to her before I leave. Talk to her on the layover. And then I land. And she tells me her father's going to pick me up. And so I land. And she doesn't show up. And she won't answer her phone. And then I look down at my phone, and it's ringing, and it's her. I go to answer it, and when I answer it, she's not there. And I look up just in time to see somebody literally run around a corner. I'm going, this is plot thickens. So I'm not able to get a hold of her at all. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to get in a car, and I'm going to drive to her house. I know it's 90 minutes outside the airport, except I'm going to drive to the house. And I sit down at the bar, and I ask the bartender, what's the best way to get to this location? And he looked at me kind of funny. He goes, you're not from here, are you? I said, no. Why? He goes, you don't want to go to that area. I said, why? He said, you won't come back. I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's a little rough out there. Let's just say that you really don't want to go to that part of this place. Really? So now I'm really thinking, this is weird. So I end up calling the cops. The cops go out to this person's house. Because I said, I think I've been conned for 2 plane tickets, $3,000. And the cops go out to the house, and they talk to a woman at the house, and they identified the dog that I said would be there and all this other stuff. And then the cop comes back to me and goes, you said she was 5'9". She's probably 5'9". You said she was blonde. Well, maybe on some days. Today she wasn't so much blonde. Just the tips were kind of blonde. You said she weighed 119 pounds. If you reverse those last 2 numbers and then add 30 or 50, that's probably what she weighs. No! So this person had totally fabricated for months and months and months and months and months. Plane tickets got canceled, so I don't know what the benefit was. And so, maybe it was just somebody's way of having a romance. After that, I swore off online romances. So, not to be shortchanged in any way. In fact, to be over-delivered. We have a guest on our show who is everything she says she is. Wendy Lipton-Dibner is president of Professional Impact, Inc. and the founder of Shatter Your Speed Limits Fast Track Academy. She's known internationally as a world-class speaker. Wendy is an expert in organizational and personal development and specializes in the psychosocial factors that move people to action. In addition to conducting training programs for corporate, healthcare, and nonprofit organizations, Wendy has owned 5 successful retail and service businesses and serves as a trusted advisor and speaking coach for doctors, leaders, and top influencers worldwide. It's with great pleasure that I bring you Wendy Lipton-Dibner, president of Professional Impact, and our guest on our show today. Let me get to the phones here. Hey, Wendy, welcome home.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be with you.
I know you have helped hundreds of thousands of people get what they want, both in business and in life. And I also know you got a book that hit number 3 on the Amazon bestseller list within 48 hours. The book's called Shatter Your Speed Limits. I love the name. Why do you think your book shot up so quickly? We all know how difficult that is.
It is, and I think there's 2 lessons to be learned here. One is about market timing, and the other is about having a lot of really great friends who will help you get where you want to go. The market timing issue is huge. I mean, in today's down economy, everyone is looking for a fast fix, and Shatter Your Speed Limits teaches a formula that I've used to fast-track success for hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and it's a 2-hour read, and it sort of meets all of the market criteria right now. I think the real secret, though, has to do with having great friends who have lots of friends, and the word gets out very quickly that way, and that's how you shoot up any bestseller list, by having people who will help you get out there.
Well, the book's called Shatter Your Speed Limits. It's personal development and business development. What do you mean by speed limits?
Okay, a speed limit is a metaphor, of course, and in my world, a speed limit is anything that slows us down or keeps us from getting from where we are to where we want to be. So we're driving on a road that we've never traveled, and we see a sign that tells us the speed limits, and we have a decision to make at that point. Do we just blindly follow these rules, or do we break the rules? What I tell all of my clients is that we have those decisions to make every single day of our lives, and one of the challenges is to make sure that the rules that we follow in our lives are rules that we've chosen consciously and not just blindly followed because someone who we've never met has decided what's best for us, for our families, for our businesses, for our lives. We have to make conscious decisions about our rules and then follow them.
What are some very specific speed limits that block people's successes?
Marshall, there are only 3, so it makes our life a whole lot easier that way. The 3 speed limits are, first of all, desire. We have to want something badly enough to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Most people, I find, never delve deep enough to discover what's their bottom line reason for going after a goal. So when the going gets tough, they lose momentum, and that speed limit gets in their way. The second speed limit is resources. We have to have everything we need so we're able to take effective action. And here again, most people only focus on what they need and don't have and lose track of the resources that are sitting right in front of them. They don't recognize those as assets. Now, the third speed limit, Marshall, this is the big bear for a lot of people. I call this permission. We have to be willing to do whatever is necessary to achieve our goals and then to live with the consequences of either our failure or our success. Put it together, desire plus resources plus permission equals action on anything we need to get done.
Lovely. Hey, speaking of action, we've got to take an action break for now. I'm excited for some tips when we come back. I'm Marshall Silver. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.